All right, we are back coming to you live from Radio Row here in Las Vegas at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center. So I'm being moved up on all my family lists.
Oh, really?
So earlier in the day, the machine walked by.
You did, Bert Kirshner,
and
Media Row.
I didn't even know who that was about a year ago. My son, the machine, the train, all that kind of stuff.
Legendary.
So that status moved up. Then I got an email yesterday, and I haven't even announced anything about this. I just told my sister, tune in. Typically, I don't care if my family listens, but my sister is tuning in, and let's welcome to the program Austin Corbett, who now plays for the Carolina Panthers. It took a while. My sister moved to Carolina years ago. She was a Buck fan because we're from Tampa. She now is a season ticket holder of your Carolina Panthers.
I'd like to thank her, first of all, making that switch over in the NFC South there, coming over to the good side with the Panthers and getting rid of, sorry about the Bucks, but yeah, she made the good choice.
But a question that I do want to ask is that back in the day, before your time, so you have nothing to do with this, there was a hatred of the Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't even know if you know why. Allegedly, I was there, so I don't know about how allegedly it was, a cheap shot by a Carolina Panther on a fair catch. And that kind of, but it was so long ago that, all the players that were involved, is there still that dislike? Is there still that? I mean, I know it's the same division, right, but is that what it is now? It's just the division, not that play on Peanut?
Yeah, for my 2 years with the team.
Holy cannoli, look on the finger.
Yeah. Whoa.
Now, I knew, I just hadn't seen it yet.
Right.
I will get there.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's there. But 2 years with the Panthers now, I haven't seen that hit. No one's really brought it up. The thing about, divisional opponents is, everybody hates everybody. When you have to play somebody twice a year, it sucks. It's a grind, and you just hate everybody over there. You see them so much on crossover tape when you're film studying and everything. You just get tired of them.
The thing I found funny in some of the chat rooms on Facebook that, the big Buccaneer fans, okay, they're they want the best for your new head coach. Who was only here in Tampa for a year.
Yep.
But then, I'm thinking, how can you want the best for the new head coach of the Carolina Panthers? Because, and they said, except for when they play against the Bucs. So great. So you could go 15-2, right, which isn't good for the Tampa Bay Bucs.
No.
But talk about your new head coach.
Yeah, and so I've been in the building a little bit these past couple weeks, and he's been in there, and just in some brief interactions, right, just talking, and just a genuine guy. Truly loves ball. He cares so much. You can tell it's authentic, and just has that positive attitude all the time. And I think that's huge for a team, especially coming off of a down year. And so I think it's going to be good to get the guys going.
As we sat and we would talk to him once a week when he'd come into the room, and I'm there every single day, and you can sense that, just like you just said as the player, that he wanted to be there. He wanted to come talk to us. The first thing that he would say when he walked into it is, "Hey, how y'all doing?
Right.
How you guys doing?" A lot of coaches don't do that because they don't care, and I'm not saying they should.
No,
but
right.
I'm not saying that as a dig. It's they're doing their job, we're doing our job. But it was genuine with him. He cared, and he talked about his family and being in the community.
Right.
Hearing the same thing from you as a player is cool.
Yeah, and especially in my 2 days with him, right, or whatever, 2 weeks, whatever it's been at this point. So when you have that authenticity about yourself, you can truly feel that, and that's going to be huge for guys just to buy in.
So I have a different kind of stance on my questions can come from a different area.
Sure.
But
he will punch you. Just
no,
so you know.
no, he's a big kid, and I say kid respectfully because I'm 48,
yeah,
so
fair.
You're much younger than me. But my question is this: the NFL is a big shield.
Right.
It's massive, and the money to build the brands and the teams and the logos and such. But we see Air Jordan. His wealth and his he makes more money building his own personal brand.
Right.
And so how much does the NFL assist you with building your name in the community, or how much do you do on your own to have a career outside of playing? Because we all know NFL stands for not for long.
Absolutely.
One injury, it can all be over tomorrow.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think the NFL in conjunction with the NFLPA, the union, and then with your agency and kind of that group, we have all the resources there to be able to build that and to make these networking events and all these different connections. And the NFL hosts a ton of things in the off season, so obviously we're free, right?
Sure.
And so just being able to travel and get into internships and just do things that just put you out there, because even if you have a long, lucrative 10-year career, you're still 32, 33 when you retire. has a lot of life to live.
And I think the misconception is that, well, you're on a team and you have all these coaches and that everybody does everything together and you're like the military when boot camps and things. But as I get to know more athletes and train them, and there's so many that are on their own. You know, and you see their dominance on the field, but they're training outside the group or not on offensive line camp or defensive camp.
Right.
So it's, it's just shocking to me that such a big organization and there's still you're on your own to kind of build your own name and
I mean,
protocol.
like right now, I'm doing all my rehab, all my lifting, all my conditioning at the stadium. Like normal, I'm using our strength coaches, using trainers, everything there. Guys have their personal preference, and if they want to pay for that and go outside and get their own sources, and that's fine. They obviously have the agency to do that. But I love our staff. I love the resources we have in the buildings. Like, why wouldn't I use that? But
has the NFL changed? Are they paying you more than when Chad Ochocinco was in the NFL? Because
I think inflation for sure.
He lived in the facility to save some money. The checks might not have been as big back then. So, are you okay? Do you have a place outside the stadium?
I could if I wanted, but also I'm on the mind of like all these. There's guys that have multiple houses and they'll live, in their city during season and they'll move for the off season, so they need a place to work out there. But we're kind of in the mindset of like, I'm already paying one mortgage. Like, why do I want to pay two? Like, I don't care how much money you make. Like, two mortgages isn't fun.
I had a friend of mine, I'll even say his name, John McLaughlin,
Yeah.
Back in the day, and he had 2 houses and 3 cars. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
Now let me describe John McLaughlin to you. I don't know if you know who he is. He went to Notre Dame and then graduated, or then went to Stanford. I don't know if he graduated.
Okay.
So he was DJing at night. He's a pro football player for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I believe the first defensive lineman gunner in the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
I believe that to be true. So he's DJing in what's called Ybor City. You've been to Tampa, so you're probably familiar with it. He had 3 crates of LPs, of vinyls. So he carries 2 to his car. This is at 4 in the morning in Ybor. He puts them on the hood of his car, goes back in to get his 3rd crate, and well, guess what? Crate 1 and crate 2 are stolen. So this is the guy that has, way too many cars and such. So, Matt mentioned the fraternity of the NFL. Is it also the fraternity of right guards? And I mean this seriously, because Alex Kappa is one of my closest friends. So I'm curious.
You have that. I wouldn't say just specifically right guards. I'd say
offensive linemen?
Offensive linemen, for sure. And especially the longer you play in the league, in the more now, being on my 3rd team, right, in 7 years, and like, being able to bounce around and just meet all these guys, coming to these events where you're able to meet guys, and you have that, and like, we're the only ones who truly understand what it's like to be an offensive lineman. The stress we have is, if it's a 65-play game, you have 64 incredible plays, but 1 bad gun. That's all you're known for. Yeah. You're known for that 1 bad play, and so that stress that we're under, I think we're the only ones that understand that, and so we truly stick together.
I use that same line, and it's unfortunate. Sean Taylor, we talk about him, and he's talked about it numerous times, and what a great human being, and all the things he did. All I remember of Sean Taylor is the time he spit on Michael Pittman, and it's just that one thing. So it's the same with the hold. And talk about, there was a player, Kenyatta Walker, played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. True story. He got called for holding when he wasn't on the field.
That'll
and that's true. He held so many times that they threw a flag and called him, and he wasn't on there. What is it like? And of course, you don't want it to happen, but it happens from time to time. When you hear that number on the stage, do you hear it, or is everything kind of?
You for sure do, because there's times we hold every play.
Absolutely.
Like, let's be honest, right? We hold every play, but there's ways to legally hold, and so there's times when you can kind of get away with one, and you kind of like give a little side eye, make sure there's no flag on the ground, or ones that like, yeah, it's on me. I know, like, it's a combative game. Things are going to happen. But my most detrimental hold, the few that I have, we're down in L.A., Rams versus the 0-13 Jets at the time. We're going down. We break off and get a good block, score a touchdown to take the lead. I get popped from the back judge for a holding. No touchdown, lose the game. Refs come back on Tuesday. Hey, that actually wasn't a hold after we watched the film. Great. Well, thanks. So that one stings.
And I was going to bring up the one where the player went over and I'm eligible. He's standing there talking to him, and then gets called for a penalty. So when it's not a penalty, like the one you just said,
definitely, it hurts because as a professional athlete, you know what good technique is. You know when you get outside your framework and your hands are going. If you held, you can be honest with yourself. And I was stoked. I was going to pump up that touchdown. I was like, let's go. And then like, oh, what's that flag for? That's weird. 63. What are we talking about? Like, so it was just in shock.
Let's go back, now 2 years in L.A. You're wearing just the smallest ring I've ever seen in my life. A, how often do you wear it? And B, talk about the experience of the Super Bowl.
This is, in those 2 years, this is the third time I've worn it. Wore it the night I got it. Wore it when I went back to University of Nevada when I did my spring game, my youth camp for kids up there, and then now. And so, I mean, you guys see it. I can't just wear this.
I know.
So the first thing that comes to mind is, Rick Harrison was here yesterday from Pawn Stars. So, if the day comes that you want to get some money for it, let Randy and I know first.
Right.
We got some connections. We would love to have one for the show or the trophy case.
Oh, my goodness.
But,
I mean, it is.
But would you ever consider selling? I mean, we see them come available. See people sell them. Some people don't have value. They don't collect memorabilia.
Right.
Randy asked Leonard Wester, about memorabilia is like if he collects anything. For example, he said that.
The way it is I know a lot of people, and I'm not trying to brag or anything. I just know a lot of people, and you guys can get anything. Anything you want, you have access to. And then they'll say, one of you will say something like, I don't know, the guitar from Poison.
Right.
Well, I know C.C. DeVille. All right, I'll make a phone call. So Leonard's like, I don't want anything. I don't need anything. I don't collect memorabilia. I don't know if you know Leonard. He's out of the lake now. But so I go, no, Leonard, we're really good friends. You have to come up with something. He goes, okay. Jesus Christ sandals. I go, that's a good one.
Perfect.
That's a good one.
Right.
It's hard to top that.
So do you collect anything? Are you a memorabilia guy?
I'm I feel like I haven't done anything worth my while that's, other than, like, obviously this ring and the jersey from that game, but, like, other sports memorabilia, like, I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me. I know guys that collect autographs, I'm just like, it's ink on a piece of paper. Like, it just doesn't do it for me, but guys love it, and that's where they get their fix, but I get my fix on the golf course.
I normally don't do this, but we're at the top of the hour. I don't want to end it. Can you hang out a couple minutes and talk a little bit more?
Yeah.
All right, let's go hit the top of the hour break. We'll do one real short segment, and then we won't get beat up too long. We'll be right back.